Yeah. This is the Legacy League. Tell me what will your legacy be? Yeah.
Welcome to a special Week 1 post-game show. We are back in the winter. It's Christmas time, or Hanukkah, or Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. But it's the holiday season. We're back with some Legacy Leagues action. That's the gift, from Greg Kloss himself. I'm glad to be back, and I'm joined here with two new interns who, got their first taste of Legacy Leagues action. And I'll kind of introduce them quick. They can say what's up, and we'll kind of get into the games. But it's a pleasure to be back, everyone. And let's start with Michael. Mike, how we feeling? How's it feel being this?
I'm feeling great. Yesterday after week 1 was a great day. I think all went well for the most part for our first day. It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be on the podcast, and I'm enjoying every second of it. So thank you guys.
Hell yeah. Steven, how we feeling?
Yeah, it was a great first day. For me, I got two really, really entertaining games. One going to overtime. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, it was so far so good. And it was a nice little introduction to what the rest of the season holds.
Yeah, no, definitely. And, like you guys said, there were some good games, some overtime games. And, as the season progresses, a lot of the teams that, there'll probably be a few undefeated teams playing. There'll be some fun nights. So let's get into it. And speaking of a team that will probably be undefeated for the foreseeable future until they play TMC next week. Actually, they play Syndicate next week. I don't want to say that, but Get Money taking down Street Ballers 71-70. This team, Get Money and Street Ballers, they both have been in the league for a little bit. Get Money, 3 finals appearances. They've been fighting in this league. Get Money's been through a lot of trials and tribulations. Obviously, they joined the league a few seasons ago when me and Connor started running it, and they came in hot. They were phenomenal. And at that time, they had Tyron McCray playing. You guys didn't even see. They have a brother. He wasn't there. He's probably their second best player. He's been a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, a dunk contest champion, Tysheen McCray. He will be there next week. You guys are going to like Tysheen a lot. Tysheen's one of those guys that doesn't ever not try. His motor is crazy. He takes pride in defense. And then that's where I kind of get into my spiel, because I know Benji was yelling at me that Get Money's my team. Benji, that's Connor's team. But I think the reason that he's saying I am a big Get Money guy is because I love Kyle Davis. I think Kyle Davis is one of the best players you've ever seen in this league, especially what he can do on the offensive end. And Kyle in this game, he didn't really find his footing. He was 0 for 5 from 3, 6-15 from the field, but he really took it upon himself in that second half when they went down a lot to just play defense. And when Kyle wants to play defense, I don't know if there's a better defender in this league just because of how athletic he is. But I really want to tip my cap to the Street Ballers because Get Money did what they did. They were missing a few guys. Get Money's also missing a guy named Chad McCoy, Chad McCoy is about 6'4", 230 maybe. Sorry, Chad, if you're, less than that. Chad's yoked. This guy's a big man. He's a freak. So Get Money's got a lot coming. They're doing their thing. I want to focus on the Street Ballers, though. I think Jovito Acosta might be, again, one of the most underrated and underappreciated players in this league. He's filthy. His game is funny. He plays like, he's at a park, and it just works. It really works in this league. And then Benji Valentine had a great game. Marvin Hampton, Marquise Woods. Look, Street Ballers, hold your head up high. A 1-point loss to Get Money is not a bad loss at all. But I'm going to kick it to you, Mike. What'd you see? Get Money, Street Ballers, your first Legacy Leagues action.
I mean, for my first match, I couldn't ask for a better game, right? So the Street Ballers are leading pretty much the entire game. Meanwhile, I come to find out that Get Money's been in the finals for the past 2 years, so at the end of the day, this game is going to be close, right? So as it literally came down to the final shot, which was a free throw at the end of the game, and Get Money made it, and they took it. They won with that last second clutch moment, and that really proved that they were the better team on that night. But from the Street Ballers perspective, I mean, they came out here and went toe for toe with the team that made the championship last year. So that all in all, that proves alone that they're ready, man. They're coming to play, and they're no joke. They're here. They're here to play, and I think they're the real deal. So I want to see what they got coming for the next couple weeks. I think they're gonna really be. I think they're gonna impress everyone. I think they'll outshine what people think they're gonna do.
Yeah, no, Street Ballers are one of those teams. They're scrappy. They play hard. They're one of those teams you can't come into the game thinking you're going to catch them off guard. They're going to be ready for you. They're warriors. And shout out Get Money. Shout out the Street Ballers. Shout out Tyron McCray, who did have a little Achilles injury a few seasons ago. He was back on the court. That's amazing to see. I want to give a shout out to, DeMar Whitaker, Jake Morales. There's a lot of incredible basketball players on the court, and the Street Ballers that get money did not disappoint. But in a game that might have disappointed, shout out my guys, Lux Gang and BTFO. We got a new team. We got a new team alert. Speaking of Get Money and Street Ballers, they've been in this league before. They know it. BTFO, this is the first time they've ever played together. They're a free agent team, and the first time they've played on this size rims probably. And BTFO looked incredible. I mean, they did their thing. Javier, Jay Hemingway, D. Reed, who's been in the league before. He's the one guy who's been in the league. He played on NLMB last year. He had a great game. He hit a three. I didn't see him shoot many threes on NLMB. I like this BTFO team. And then for Lux Gang, Trayvon Jones was the rookie of the year last year and the leading scorer. I think he averaged almost 40 a game last year. He picked up right where he left off with 31. I mean, he's a freak. Like I always say it, Trayvon Jones is the guy that you never want to get on his bad side because he's a monster. He is the most jack guy I've ever seen in Legacy Leagues. He's like a linebacker. And, I don't know how you stop him, but I think for this game, Lux Gang they didn't hit the threes. 5 for 18 is not going to cut it in Legacy Leagues. You got to shoot threes. And I think that's one thing when you look at the better teams in this league, like Run TMC, for instance, when we get to them, they're going to take a lot of threes. They're probably going to take over 200 threes this year. And you got to do it. Like, I know it's fast break. It's one of those funny things about the lower rims where you'll notice a lot of teams will go for these crazy dunks. And some of the older teams, the veteran teams, are like, let's just take the points. It's not worth it. But I'm going to kick it to you, Steven. BTFO, Lux Gang, BTFO with a big first win.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different, especially being a new intern and seeing these low rims. You're seeing all these guys wanting to dunk, and I guess maybe with in terms of shooting threes, the rim height is a little bit of an adjustment to shooting on a real height, whatever it is, 12 feet or whatever, But yeah, both teams looked really good in this one. It honestly was a dogfight. It was really back and forth throughout the whole game. Yeah, Jones finished with 31. He was the focal point of both offenses in this one. True Heart with 14. On the other side, BTFO, Javier Davila had 21 with 8 rebounds, and Hemingway with 12. Both really fast paced teams. There was really it was kind of hard to keep the stats going yesterday just because of how fast these guys were scoring, going back and forth up and down the court. So it was a great first game to start off for both Lux Gang and BTFO.
Yeah, no, I agree. Similar to Street Ballers Get Money, there's a lot of positives you can take out of this game. And again, look at BTFO. Their whole team, 21, 12, 9, 7, 7, 7, 6, 6. They all contributed. They did what a free agent team should do. Go have fun, try hard, and make sure everyone's getting involved. And they're only going to get better. And I think same with Lux Gang. Lux Gang will figure it out. They just didn't shoot well from 3. Lux Gang will be fine. I like this Lux Gang team. I like what they're doing with the roster. They got some good guys. And next week they're going to play Run TMC. It's not going to get much easier. But then they got Street Ballers coming up. And it's going to be, they don't got more power. I think more power might be the worst team in the league right now. But, for Lux Gang, just keep your head up and keep pushing because this Lux Gang team is one of those teams you don't want to see if you're a good team because they can play you hard. And, hey, BTFO, I'm proud of you boys. That's 1-0. Moving on to next week where you guys got NLMB. Chance for 2-0 for BTFO, which would be a great start for them. But speaking of more power, we had more power running to the Run TMC buzzsaw, and Joey Zacco himself looked like Steph Curry out there. Joey was not missing. Joey hit 3 threes in a row, and I couldn't believe it. Joey, tip of the hat. When Joey gets going like that, there's really not much you can do. But this Run TMC team is going to be my clear favorite this year. I'm really not sure how any team is going to beat this team. They have about 12 championships combined, maybe more on their roster, probably more. They got Joe Carter, who it's his first game ever in the league. He drops 36, 8, 88% from the field, 2 of 3 from 3. Quan Jackson's, what is there to say about Quan Jackson? Quan Jackson has been in this league for about 6 seasons. He's incredible. He's become a better shooter as he's gotten older, and his athleticism. He's probably one of the most athletic guys in this league, if not the. Then you got Reggie Stewart, and I always like to do this with the interns just to so they kind of. I'll do this for 2 games because I always do it. If you just take a quick look at Reggie Stewart, if you guys can see the screen, that is Reggie Stewart's accolades, and those are all the accolades Reggie Stewart has in the league: 3-time champ, 4-time MVP, 2-time Finals MVP. That was their 3rd leading scorer on the night. I don't know how you're really going to compete with this team, and then I'll do a special one just for. Let's go to Devon Pratt, who's all the way down there. Oh, he's a 4-time Legacy Leagues champion, an MVP, 5th man of the year. There's really not much. I don't know. I love Get Money. I love those guys. I love NLMB. Syndicate, I mean, they got the GOAT. I'll show you Mike Davis in a little. I don't know what you're going to do against this Run TMC team this year. I don't even, more power. I'm waiting for you guys next week. More power. Who they got? They got Street Ballers, 8 o'clock. That's going to be a good game. They could take that dub, but I mean, Run TMC looks like the clear favorite. Mike, I'm going to go to you. I know I went long there, but I just can't believe how good TMC looks. GM Joey Sacco did it, huh?
No, I mean you hit like the nail with the hammer on the head, if whatever you want to. The saying is, yeah. I mean, dropping 133 points week 1, who would have seen that coming? I mean, that was absolutely absurd. I mean, they looked like straight out of semi-pro out there with the alley oops they were doing and stuff. It was absolutely crazy, and like you said, numbers 1 and 2, Carter and Jackson, all night long, man. I mean, they flashy passes, everything that they could do, they did no wrong. I mean, it was amazing. It was really fun to watch that game and be a part of it. Absolutely. And like you said, I didn't even know that was Joseph Carter's first game in the league. I mean, that is absolutely crazy. And to see what he did, I mean, he finished with the most points in the league this week, 36 points. I mean, the guy was no joke. And then I think Jackson had the 3rd most points this week. And like you said, not to mention our fearless leader, Joey, absolutely coming out here, banging threes from downtown. I mean, they were in his face. There was nothing they could do. I mean, Joey was hitting them. It was amazing. It was really fun to watch. I think there's going to be trouble to come against this Run TMC team. I don't think there's much you can do to stop them. I mean, like you said, their 4th best player alone was literally like he's a 4-time champion. I mean, in the league. I mean, it's absurd to think about how good this team is, and I don't know if I even see this team losing. I don't know. I think Get Money might have the best chance in the league. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they know each other a little well because they played last summer in the finals. I don't know, but I just don't see this Run TMC team getting stopped anytime soon.
Yeah, and I didn't even do my obligatory Dave Armstrong shout out. Shout out to Scave. Dave Armstrong is the best rebounder in this league's history. I don't think it's even close. And I mean, he doesn't even have to try. He's just talking shit to Mike all game. And speaking of Mike Davis, the GOAT is back. The Syndicate is back. Shout out to GM Sexy Lex. And I mean, hey, Alex, I got to give Alex Rivera some credit. Alex Rivera has been grinding in this league. It's his 3rd season. He was on Lord's Army. Then he made his own team. He couldn't find a win last year. They went winless, and they played a lot of close games last year. A lot of close games. Brought back a new team. They got some guys like Jaquan Bromell, who's just a phenomenal big man, number 69. You got EJ Linton, who I think's with Ojito Acosta, one of the most underrated players in this league. I love EJ's game. You got Jason Hernandez, who's just a leader out there, and then you got the GOAT himself, Michael Davis. And I'll do this one more time, because Mike is, if Reggie's probably the 2nd best of all time. This is Mike Davis's profile, as you can see. It's just the 6-time champ. I mean, he won in summer 2016, and he won in winter 25. That kind of shows how long Mike's been doing this. Mike didn't have his best game on the day, but that's kind of what you are bringing to this Syndicate team. Like, this Syndicate team without him is a good roster. It's a really good team. I picked them to win a lot of games this year. Then you bring in a guy like Mike, who's a leader, who hits big shots. He probably has the most game-winning shots in the league's history. He can really do it all out there. And speaking of, Mike, again, like I said, didn't have his best game. That's why you got guys like Jaquan Bromell, who had a phenomenal game, and Jason and EJ. Eric Moore hit some big shots. Mikey Fuller didn't even have a game to his full effect. Same with Randy Kahn. And then for NLMB, you know what? NLMB is a grinding team. You gotta keep your eye on these boys. They had a few guys who weren't there, especially their big guy, who you guys will meet him. he's a monster. He's really, really good for this team. NLMB is every single year they've been in this league, they're one of those teams that starts slow, gets hot late, and then they really ride hard into the playoffs. And they play teams really tough, whether it's Get Money, Run TMC, the Syndicate. When it comes to playoff time, Dante Hodge and Christian Dessou are the best shooting duo in this league. And I mean, I'm telling you, this was a great, great, great game coming down to the wire. And I think in the end, I just think the Syndicate had a little too much depth, and NLNB were down a few guys. But Steven, I'm going to go to you. This was your first overtime, a great first overtime experience. What do you think?
Yeah. Hey, I was told halfway through the game that Syndicate had a tough season last year, and I was like, really? This is their NLMB looked really good, and they looked as good as the Syndicate. So that's why I was kind of taken back a little bit. I was like, wow. But they were saying that they got a lot of new players. Like you mentioned, Jaquan Bromell, he had an insane dunk at one point during the game. He jumped from the free throw line. It was unbelievable. The whole court was going nuts. He finished with 21. He had 11 rebounds. On the other side, NLMB, like they had, they were pretty much fighting back throughout the entire game. At one point, I think they were down like 11 or 12 points. So it wasn't a gimme for Syndicate at the end of the day. And Christian Dechu, he had 29 and 10 rebounds before going down with an injury late in overtime, where he pulled his calf. It was tough to watch because they had a chance to tie the game with a three in the final seconds, and you kind of wanted him to have the ball in those final seconds, and it was a big miss for NLMB to not have him on the court during that moment. And Dante Hodge and Alex Willis, the two of them together, it seemed as if every time one made a basket, the other one had the assist. So those two players with Dechu on the court at the same time, I think is a big triple threat for this NLMB team. But at the end of the day, the Syndicate came out on top, and they look really good to start off this season, and I really hope that that continues throughout.
Yeah, no, I agree. And for this Syndicate team, it's going to come down to those late game scenarios and can they close the games out. Look, Syndicate likes to have a lot of fun. I love teams that like to have a lot of fun. But the past few champions we've had, Yagaville, Yaga, Flint, Run TMC when Joey won. The end of the game, those, Get Money. A reason why Get Money is always, NLNB is a great example of this, always in the games late, always making late, deep playoff runs, is because they are focused and locked in pretty much most of the game. And there was a team that used to be like that, Yaga, but they were so supremely talented that it didn't really matter if they locked in. They kind of just got by. And the Syndicate team is incredibly talented too. The thing for me with them is going to be late games in these big games. Are they going to be locked in the whole game? Smart shots, playing good basketball, because they have the talent. This team has the talent to win it all. So I'm going to be looking at that. But I couldn't agree with more what Steven said. NLMB, Syndicate, those two teams are coming. Those two teams, let's look at next week. Next week, we got Street Ballers, More Power. That should be, a big game for More Power. They can maybe get their first dub. NLMB is going to be going into BTFO. And that's, like I said, free agent team, bunch of new guys. NLMB, they said they're going to have a few more guys because NLMB, a lot of, just so you guys know, first, second week, sometimes guys can't make it. Like Get Money didn't have a few guys. NLMB didn't have a few guys. So Street Ballers probably has a few more guys coming. So that's going to be big. Then we got Run TMC Lux Gang, which should be a good one. But then I think the game of the week is going to be that Get Money Syndicate. That 9 o'clock Get Money Syndicate game is going to be a big one. I hope Taisheen can come. Hope Chad McCoy can come. I hope Mike Davis comes back. But that's a game where I want to see Syndicate like this. Syndicate, like they did their thing. They beat NLMB. That's a great first step. You got your first win. But you want more than the first win. Like it's like that young football team or whatever sport that it's great when you like finally get over the hump, but you want to get more than whatever is over that hump. So I'm really looking forward to it in week 2. Michael and Steven, I appreciate you boys coming on, doing your thing. It was a pleasure. I'm sure we'll get you guys on another one of these. But, for me, Greg, for Michael and Steven, it's been an absolute pleasure. And, we appreciate having you all.